Now, the Met Police have said that no criminal offence was caused by Lee Anderson MP. His comments on Eddie Izzard after he was reported for one of those hate crimes by a councillor. Anderson had this to say: "The old traditional working class Labour voters will take a look at Eddie Izzard and think, you know, is that what's coming to Parliament?" A spokesman for the Met Police said the complaint has been assessed and no offences have been identified. As a result, no further action will be taken. Now, while Eddie Izzard has said critics should join the 21st century, well, we'll see what Lee Anderson has to say about that. Joining me is the man himself, Conservative MP Lee Anderson. Lee, I know you've got a Mansfield Town kick-off at 3 o'clock, so I'll be brief. What do you make of Eddie Izzard saying that people like you need to be dragged, kicking and screaming into the 21st century?
Well, look, Darren, I mix with two sets of people in my life. Half the week I spend in London. I spend that with MPs, lords, lobbyists, civil servants, staffers, and the media. The rest of the week I spend with real people in places like Ashfield. I see people in the pub, my friends, my family, the constituents that I represent, and they're the people I take notice of. And they're the people that tell me every single week when I get off that train, "Lee, you're speaking on behalf of us." Look, I'm not here to try and upset one particular group of people. What I'm here to do is represent my constituents and speak on their behalf. And I can tell you this, Darren, that when I came home yesterday, as I walked up from the train station, people were saying to me, they were coming out of the shops like they normally do, "Lee, you've done it again, you've said what we're thinking." And Darren, whenever I'm in Parliament, I will keep saying what my constituents are actually thinking.
Yeah, because the Ashfield councillor who reported you to the police, by the way, I think that's a waste of police time. I think all of this stuff where it's arguments and disagreements with each other, that's not a police matter in my opinion. Yeah. But he actually said that the morals, you've got the morals of a 1970 working man's club comedian. Yeah. Now, I thought that had a certain amount of sneer and contempt, actually, Lee.
Yeah, but this is the same councillor, Darren. If you happen to Google this character, this is a man who's been pictured on a regular basis with the late Cyril Smith. This is a councillor that defended Cyril Smith, and this is a councillor actually that doesn't even live in the area. Right. I think he lives in Wales. So this is the kind of character that we're dealing with.
Of course, he's not here to defend himself, and I'm sure he would have much to say to the accusations laid out there to him. I want to read you out an email that I've just received about, in our last package, Lee, we were talking about a clampdown on affluent middle-class drug users. And Jack has written in and he says, "Get real. The police don't even come out if your house is robbed." And I'm wondering the extent to which your speech can be investigated by the police, but Jack saying here, they don't come out if your house is robbed. Do you reckon, Lee, that the priorities of British policing are out of kilter with your constituents?
Yes, of course, I agree with Jack's email. Look, I think this policing by consent has gone a little bit too far. I always hark on to the days when I was a teenager and we got into a spot bother. The police were much more firmer those days. I lived through the miners' strike in '84. I see now the police dealt with striking miners on the picket lines. Fast forward 30 odd years and look how they're policing on the streets of London and the rest of the country now with these protests, as we see. And I think, we've got it all wrong, Darren. We're far too soft. The police need to be much, much tougher. And it's quite right, Jack, is that police often now don't come out to burglaries and crimes in the home when they should do. They seem to be far too busy in some areas investigating silly complaints like the one made against me.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you reckon, Lee, that many people in the media and indeed in politics, many colleagues of yours in Parliament, might be afraid to actually stand up and say, well, I hold the view that Eddie Izzard is not a woman, a biological woman, and that can be viewed as a shocking thing to say, right? You cannot say that. You won't be invited to London dinner tables and all the rest of it, candlelit suppers. And many people out there, I've just had an email from David, and David says that you are an absolute legend, Lee. He says he's glad the police aren't investigating and that you speak for many of us working class people. And now I'm wondering, why is it that many politicians are so afraid?
Well, I think the difference for me, Darren, is I'm not interested in going to candlelit dinners and being invited to functions or anything like that. You know, I don't even like going to London that much, if I'm honest. I love my job. I love representing the people of Ashfield. And like I say, I'm not here to score brownie points. I'm not there to be invited to these functions. And I'm not there to have a career in politics. I'm there for the people of Ashfield. I'm their voice. I'm born and bred here. I've worked here all my life, never lived more than 5 miles from where I was born. I know what working class people are thinking. And I have every right to go down to that place. When I speak to you, like in the media, I shoot from the hip. And I say the things that Ashfield folk are saying to me on a weekly basis.
In a word, then, some of my viewers are concerned that Suella Braverman, she's saying all the right things, but is she going to actually act upon them? Do you have faith in her, Lee?
I have faith in Suella. I think she's the best we've got. And I've met her privately many, many times. If government get behind her, if the cabinet get behind her and number 10 get behind her, I expect great things from Suella.
All right, Lee. Good luck in your footy match with Mansfield Town. I hope they win. Lee Anderson, MP there, the Conservative MP for Ashfield. Thank you very much.